Do not adjust your screen. Yes, I am wearing a beanie. Okay, it's September. This week's episode, My Solar Return, a documentary that literally made me laugh out loud, and a conversation with an ex-coworker that made me think really deep. Let's talk about it. Hey guys, and welcome to episode 19 of Life Vetted. Thank you for being here, and thank you for tuning in. Hey guys, what is up? Welcome to September. Again, do not adjust your screens. I am wearing a beanie. It's September. It's Carhartt season. For you guys that don't live in a place where the leaves turn yellow and orange and bright red, first of all, I'm sorry for you. And second of all, it's Carhartt season. You take out your Carhartts September 1st, okay? If you didn't know that, I don't know what to tell you. This is where we're at. Long sleeves and Carhartts. I am so happy. This is my favorite time of the year. I honestly could not, I could not ever think about living in a place where there is no fall. It has become my favorite season. My solar return is at the end of the month in September, and September has always been, a favorite month of mine. But since moving to Colorado 11 years ago, I can't tell you how excited I am for fall. Oh my God. I just cannot believe that people live in places where there is no fall. It is the most gorgeous time of the year. The air starts to get a little crisp. The sun gets lighter. The leaves turn these magical colors. I mean, watching as the earth changes and things start to die down, and it is just a magical experience. The coats come out, the boots come out, the scarves come out. Are you kidding me? Oh my God, I am so stoked. I am so excited. Oh, and tell me I don't look cute in this beanie. I mean, come on. Okay, it is the best time. I remember when I lived in Miami, that one day or 2 days out of the year where the temperature's 78 or 76. And I look at people now and I laugh because they're wearing boots and scarves and jackets and you know what? Don't get me wrong. I was definitely one of those people. Girl, as soon as that day was 72 degrees, I was taking out my boots. I was taking out my coat. I was like, yes, fall. Oh my God. I was so delusional. Living here has really made me appreciate the seasons of the earth, the seasons of our lives, the seasons of this beautiful world that we live in. Oh my God, it is just, it's like a sigh of relief. It's so beautiful. And let me tell you, a hot coffee does not taste the same until the air is crisp and you can smell the leaves turning. It's freaking amazing. I am super excited. I am gonna be having my solar return at the end of this month. I am going into my 40th year of life, and I couldn't be more excited. I couldn't be more eager for the next chapter of my life. I don't really celebrate it too much, but it is kind of like a reminder of how far I've come and where I was and where I am now. So those kind of feelings arise during these times, and I just can't freaking wait. The fits are gonna be sick. I can't wait to wear boots and coats and scarves. I mean, honestly, like, I don't envy you guys. Like, straight up. It is like the best time to be in a season changing state. A lot of people like to travel during like winter time, which I completely understand because people like to like go snowboarding and skiing, which is super fun. If you haven't done it, yes, definitely do it. But I am particular to the fall. If you guys get a chance to travel to somewhere that has fall season, please, please go. I highly encourage it, especially in the West Coast where there's not that much humidity. Like in Colorado, there's not a lot of humidity, so it doesn't get like cold. It took me living here to like understand that humidity has such a big part in how cold it feels and how hot it feels. And the fact that there's no humidity here makes the summers hot, but you're not sweating. And it makes the fall and winter like cold, but you're not freezing. Like it's not like bone chilling cold temperature. So listen, take the trip. Go get a pumpkin spice latte if that's your thing, and sit in a park in fall, and oh my god, it will change your life. I am super, super excited for the fall. I will probably be driving all of y'all crazy with pictures and and TikToks and all of the things during the fall. So fair warning. Anyway, so this past couple of weeks was really funny because I couldn't wait to talk to you guys about this documentary that I saw on Amazon. It has two seasons, sorry. So it's like a series documentary. Not every season is about the exact same thing. So the first season, the documentary is called Shiny Happy People. And the first season was about the Duggar family. And it goes into detail about like every secret of that family. There's even like people that are part of the family but like did the documentary and speaking out about like all the abuses of like the church and the family and the Duggar father, and it was just insane. I don't like watch documentaries regularly, but I remember years ago watching the Duggar family out of like pure like awe, like could not believe that these people had that many kids. And so I watched the show out of pure curiosity. And then of course the documentary goes into like the religion of it all and the church and like all that. And then of course, I mean, you guys already know how I feel about that, but we're going to get into it a little bit. And so the second season talks about like teen mania. It's like this evangelical preacher guy that pretty much builds like this cult like in the like late 80s, early 90s, where like these kids go all over the world and they like preach the Bible, and it's like basically like a Coachella for like Christian teens, where they would go and like listen to music and like go crazy, and like they made so much money off of this, and there was like scams and like all this stuff. And if you haven't watched it, watch it for like the pure entertainment of it all. It is insane to me, all of the dark, crazy like secrets that this the church and like these people have like gotten away with. It's insane. Like every time I pass by a church, I'm like, bro, that's like the best business in the world. I'm going to open a church just for like the tax benefits, and like just to become like a crazy like bazillionaire and not have to pay any taxes. It is such a scam. And it took me back to, and I go over this in my episodes where I talk about how I read this book by Dan Brown and how it kind of like opened my eyes, and I started going crazy and researching and trying to find my way through this crazy world. And so it reminded me of like this journey that I've been on, and how and why I am so adamant about everything that you need, the answers that you need about life, about your particular life, right? Because we're all on this like separate journey, and all of these answers you are not going to find outside of yourself. You are not going to find them by going to a therapist even. And I have nothing against therapy. I think therapy is great. But therapists, what they do is that they teach you tools, and they help you kind of move things out of the way so that you can get to like the core. But after that, that's it. Like it's up to you. It only goes so far. And so like in regards to people that are so like, oh my God, obsessed with religion and the church and this Bible version of God, it's just, I look at people like that and I feel a little sorry for them, because it's like, it's so sad that you need like this outside thing to make you believe in something good, or something that gives you hope. And I understand it, right? So like I want you guys to understand where I'm coming from. Like I understand the purpose of it in like a logical way. Like I understand why people need that. As humans, we need something to believe in. And I understand that it helps people, a lot of people. It's helped people out of really bad situations, and it's helped some people like turn their life around. Like that, all that stuff I understand. And I do understand from like a logical standpoint. Like I understand why it's needed in the time that we're in. It creates a structure. It creates a sense of morality. It creates it creates even like a sense of control, where if it did not exist, I mean, it could create a sense of chaos. And so I do understand it in that purpose, and I get that. But for me, because of where I am and the things that I have discovered to be true, to be fact, and just the self-awareness that I have encountered, and I have come to this realization as a human person in this world, I realize that it isn't necessary. It really is not a necessary thing. It's just that to the three-dimensional world, to a lot of people, like, that's as much as their brain can, it's as much as their brain can, like, have in its capacity, like a man in the sky and like an ark and like hell and heaven and good and evil, and like it's as much as some people's brain capacity can take. And it's just silly, I feel like. And I wish that, I wish those people, I wish those people at some point in their life have some kind of realization where they understand that it really has nothing to do with like this third person outside of you, right? Like, it's insane. And I don't talk about religion to people. I don't go out there and preach. I've said this before. Like, my podcast is not about me preaching. Like, it's not about that. It's about me sharing my experiences and hopefully inspiring someone. But the only person I don't talk to religion about is my grandma, because I love her and she's old, and I'm not going to sit there and like argue with her about why religion is a cult and awful, and why the churches are awful, and how it's just like this vicious cycle of like unnecessary things that, I don't talk to her about that. But I watched this documentary and I saw all this like perverseness and secrets and just like all of this almost darkness that is around these themes, like with the Duggar family, and then the second season with like this guy Ron Luce. That guy is like cuckoo. Like, it's insane to me. And so many people have been affected by all the crazy things and all of the false ideas that are fueled by these false beliefs and these false narratives about like the Bible and what God necessarily wants you to do and be. And it's insane. Like, it is so interesting to me because I've been there, right? Like, I grew up going to a Baptist church after my grandma, you know, changed religions after moving from Cuba to here. And so I grew up going to church, and I grew up with all these ideas that these same people have, because the Duggars are Christian, and then season 2, it's about Christianity too. I mean, don't even get me started on Catholicism. I mean, we could be here for 4 or 5 hours if I start talking about that shit. But this particular documentary is about Christians, and it's just, I think that the more and more I grow into this new chapter and role of my life, I see more and more people become awake. And I see more and more people that are shedding this idea of this man with a beard in the sky casting judgment upon his creation. Like, it's so I even say it and it makes me laugh, because it is so narcissistic of humans to believe that the creator of this earth is a man like person that looks like a human, and they're up in the sky somewhere. Like, you're thinking too small, people. Your brain needs to expand a little more if you think that that's really all that there is. And it makes our existence, you are like downgrading our existence by believing that that's the that's the ceiling. Like that's it. Like that's the ceiling. It's a man in the sky who sent his only son to earth to preach about like certain things. Like you're putting a ceiling on our existence, and it's frankly, it's a little disrespectful. Like I find it a little insulting that that's the capacity of what you believe all of this is. It is so much grander and bigger and so much more than that. And I can't, it's I feel so grateful that I have gone through what I've gone through since I was like, it really started when I was like 18, when I just started like really just questioning the shit out of everything. And I see people, even every now and then, I come across some people online that I know, and I look at their lives now and where their lives was before, and I see them like really preaching and really believing in this thing, and it makes me like want to hug them and be like, "Oh, you're so much more than that. I wish that you understood that this is just like this facade." And whatever helps people, right? Like I do understand that. Like I said, I get it. People need something to believe in. But there's always like that little part of me inside that wants to like be like, shake them and be like, "Don't you see that there's more?" Like, don't you see? Like, in some small part, like the root of all these cults, because to me it's a fucking cult. Like, it is a cult. All these followers, all these cults that are organized, that organize on Sunday and go to, worship a man that is just, it's crazy to me. It is cultish. Like there is nothing more cultish than that. And I have met all kinds of people in the line of work that I do. I have met, especially in the town that I live in, where it's much more conservative, and on Sunday morning you can go pretty much anywhere because everyone's at church on Sunday mornings in the town that I live in. And so I've met all kinds of people, and it's usually, in my observation, the people that are the most devout, they're the worst ones. They're the most judgmental ones. They're the most talk behind your back ones. They're the most like, "Oh, bless your heart." Like, that southern, I know you guys know what that means. Like that southern little saying where it's like, "Oh, bless her heart." Like, "Oh, you're an idiot." Like they're the most of the like of those people that I've met. They're not anything like what their book is preaching you to be, which is love thy neighbor and be open, have an open heart. And like, they're not. Like, they're literally the worst of those people. I remember, I remember a while ago, this was a long time ago, so I was a little more, I have kind of toned down naturally, not like on purpose or anything, but through like my spiritual journey, like I have realized that everything has its purpose, right? Even things that like I might not agree with has its purpose. I don't get angry about it. I'm not trying to disprove or go out there, with a banner and like march and protest like my views on these things. I understand their purpose, but when I was going through this journey at the beginning, the stages that you go through, like some of the stages that you go through are anger because you are so upset that you feel like you've been lied to your whole life, right? Like you're like, this, none of this shit is real and I've been lied to. So you get angry. So when people talk about it, or when you're confronted with a situation that trips up on that belief, you get angry and you want to make sure that people know that it's bullshit, and like you want to go out there and fight with people and like try to change their mind. Like it's all a journey, and I was at some point in my journey in that area where I wanted to make change people's minds. I wanted people to know what I believed in. I don't give a shit anymore. I don't care what you believe in. I talk about it for like pure entertainment. And obviously, if somebody wants to talk about it, I can definitely go into details and tell them my beliefs and this and that. But I mean, it doesn't upset me anymore if like that's what you want to believe in, like good on you. But back in the day when I was still at the beginning of all of this, oh girl, I remember one time a Christian person, I was helping them and they were my client while I was still working at the bank, and they were just like really adamant about me going to their church, and they wanted me to go to their church as a Christian church, and they were like preaching and preaching and wanted me to go. And the funniest part to me was that this person was black, and that is like a whole other trigger in itself, right? Because like my family is black, like we're Afro-Cubans, like me, my mom, and like an aunt are like, and one cousin is like the lightest in our family, and then everyone else is like dark. It's like different shades of melanin, okay, like all the way. And so it's funny to me because I've done so much like research on my history, on my ancestors, on my grandma's grandma's grandma. Like I've gone so far into it because I was thirsty for this knowledge. Like I wanted to know everything. And so that's kind of like another trigger for me. Not anymore. Repeat, not anymore. We're talking about years ago. And so for me, like I looked at this person at the time and I was like, I can't believe this man is like talking to me about Christianity and he's black. Like this guy, his ancestors were like in Africa, kings and queens of like their village, like worshiping the earth and the animals and the sky, like using plant medicine, like healing themselves centuries after centuries, like the kings and queens of like the earth at one time, okay, from Africa. And he is now preaching about a God who is a man who, for all intensive purposes, is white, and he is worshiping this, like, it doesn't make sense to me. It doesn't make sense to me at all. Like, how are you not more interested and more eager to figure out, like, what it really is about? Because your ancestors didn't even know about Christianity until they were put on a boat, or until they were forced to practice that religion. Even in Cuba, the Indians and the Africans that were put there didn't practice Catholicism. They found a way to interweave their belief with Catholicism so they wouldn't get caught, because they didn't want to get caught practicing their religion, which now you have that fuse of Catholicism and like Santeria on the island of Cuba. And so it was like a merge so that they could still practice the beliefs that they had. but not get caught. And so I was looking at this man and I'm like, I straight up told him, I was like, do you know your ancestors were probably like kings and queens and they were like worshiping the earth and worshiping the animals and the sky, and you're here talking to me about some white man in the sky that probably your great 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 grandfather was never practicing this religion. Like, how are you going so hard for a religion that's not even yours? How are you going so hard for that? I just can't understand that. Like, again, I'm from Cuba, so it's a little different because in Cuba we have a lot of like mixed raced families. And so our families are so integrated, black and white, that it you don't have to go that far back to find out like where you came from or what kind of different races you have in your family. So I'm not, I know I look white, but I'm not like white white. And so it's kind of easy to go back into my timeline and pinpoint like where it is that our culture came from, like what, you know what I mean? But it's crazy to me that as like a American and being black, that you're not more curious about like your history. Like I would question that. I would grow up and be like, nah, 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 like, what is truth here? Like, even how I've done now, like how I did when I was like 18 years old and being told that this is the way you pray and like you go to hell if you do this or you go to heaven if you do this. Like, I questioned that shit. I was like, nah, like that, nah, that doesn't sound right, you know? And I went in search. I went in search of these answers, and it wasn't easy. It wasn't happy all the time. I'm pretty sure that probably like 80 to 90% of this whole journey has been madness, craziness, depression, screaming into a pillow. Like it has been like the mourning, the death of like myself. It's the death of who you thought you were. And I've had many deaths throughout this whole time. And so it's not pretty, but I rather have truth. I rather know the truth and go hungry searching for the truth. I am a student of life. I will never get to the top of that mountain. And that's okay. That is literally the whole point. I don't want to be the teacher. Although in some ways, inadvertently, I am. But I want to be a student of life forever. And I just can't imagine blindly believing in these stories that have been just taught, and I couldn't do that. I could not just sit there on a Sunday and take the word of a pastor driving a fucking brand spanking new Mercedes Benz to the church. Like, it's such a fucking business. I am telling you, it is the card you want to play. Like, if you got some money put away, yo, start a church straight up. Like you will be a billionaire like by the end of the year. It's insane. I couldn't just sit there and blindly, like, my mind capacity is too curious to just sit there and like believe this shit. If you guys get a chance, please check out that documentary. Watch season 1, watch season 2, and then get back to me on this video. Like, write it in the comments, tell me that you saw it, and let's talk about it. I am so curious to see if you guys kind of picked up on some of the same stuff that I picked up on. It's very creepy. It's very like, ooh, kind of scary because it's out there. And I think there is, again, I think that there is an awakening. I think there's slowly been an awakening for people, especially people of like my generation. Like I just had an ex coworker come over last week because they were kind enough to help me on some stuff that I needed for like my content. And I remember when I first met this person, who they were, the kind of life that they were living, the space that they were in when I met them in 2022. And it is now 2025. And the person that they are now is complete. It's like leaps and bounds off of who they were in the best way. Like I have seen this person like slowly awaken with my own eyes, and I like to believe, I mean, we talked about this the day that he was here, and we both agreed, like I like to believe that knowing me in part because I was also going through this like journey, and I feel like knowing me in part, it's like a domino effect, which is why I say all the time, like, do not worry about anybody else but yourself. Be that light. Live your life in a way that inspires you, in a way that you're like, wow, like, this is amazing how I'm living. And you will, without a doubt, turn that light on for someone else without even knowing. And I feel like knowing this person and meeting each other where we were in that moment, and kind of like knowing each other since then, it's like it's kind of like trickled into that person. Like I was going through these things and changing and growing and just becoming like more spiritually open, and just that trickled into like him, and not on purpose. It's not like I was like walking around like, telling people what to do. No, it was just, it's like an energy. It's like this energy field when you are going through this spiritual journey, and you are like, your energy field gets bigger and bigger. Like you get lighter and brighter. Your light, your spirit, it generates at a different frequency, that it touches people that you meet every single day. And you don't even know that you're doing it, but it does that. And so imagine if more of us got into that mode where we are living a life that we are proud of, and living by our own morals and our own morality, our character. Like if we just do that on our own, imagine if every single person did that. There would be a cataclysm event of just enormous magnitude, where enormous amount of people would wake up consciously, and we would all wake up to a completely different world. That is the purpose of it all. And I believe this is happening. Now, are we going to live to see that in this body, in our body that we are in now? Probably not. But if we go into what we talked about a couple weeks ago about the Schumann resonance and all these things that are happening, if you are paying attention really to what is happening on Earth right now, it is happening. Like there are little awakenings happening everywhere. Like every single little, like it's like little lights are lighting up here and there and there, and and slowly it is happening. Our creative consciousness, like, it's infinite. It's never going to stop. Like, that is literally the purpose of what we're doing here. I invite you guys to look up Abraham Hicks. Like, look up Abraham Hicks, listen to what she's talking about, listen to her teachings and how the world works, and yes, she talks about like manifesting things for yourself and things like that. But if you really listen to her, like the beginning, like teachings that she talks about, it talks about how like we have come from like a creator. Like, we are products of the ultimate creator, the ultimate creation. Like, that's who we are, and our consciousness. We are consciousness, and we are evolving this whole time. Like, we have evolved from the beginning of time, and it's never going to stop. It's just continuous and continuous evolution of consciousness. And so it's crazy to me that all this information is out there and people don't believe it, and they don't care to even be open to believing it. And it's kind of sad to me. And so when this person came over, like, it was such a breath of fresh air to see this person as he is now, and being like, dude, like, you're there, man. Like, you're on the brink of something. It's so I was so grateful. I think I even told him, like, I feel so much gratitude in this moment, that like, this moment is not even about me, it's about you. But I feel so much gratitude that I'm in the presence of it, that I can look at another person and see the spark. Like, like when there's like a little spark of something, like when you light like a firecracker and the spark starts like really small and then gets bigger and bigger and bigger. Like, to see that spark like starting to flicker behind someone's eyes, and to watch that in real time, I felt so grateful. Even talking about it right now, I get emotional, because it's like, what an amazing thing to watch. What an amazing thing to see. I know how I felt when I saw that in myself, but it's different when you see it like in someone else. It's just so, it feels so great. It feels, and like I said, like, his journey really has nothing to do with me, and he is on his own journey through all of this. And there's parts of him that I see that I've already been through. I mean, there's things that I might not even necessarily agree with that he's going through, but he's going, right? And so, like, watching that and being witness to that, it's inspirational. It even though, like, literally, like I said, like, his journey has nothing to do with me. It's two completely different journeys. Like, you can't go like tit for tat like that. That's not the purpose. And that's what I've learned through all of this too, right? Like, you can't compare yourself, your journey, your everything to someone else. Like, it's so different for everyone. But the essence of what he's going through, oh, it's all the same. It's all the same. That is the same. And it's, oh my goodness, it was so nice to have a conversation with him. And in the stories that he was telling me, and like in our conversation back and forth, it was so refreshing to like get a little glimpse of that. It really gives me this purpose. Like, it makes me feel like just me being me, and me living my life the way that I live it, which is by pure faith. It feels like I'm doing something right. And it's so nice because I've had these moments before, right? Like I've come on here on the pod and I've given you guys examples of things that have happened to me, and I'm like, man, this is a sign. This is another sign. This is a sign for me to keep going. This is a sign for me to continue my life, to continue living the way that I live. Like there's many. It happens a lot, but that's like, that in itself is another sign. The fact that I continue to run into these moments and continue to have these experiences in my life that tell me, hey, keep fucking going. Like, do not stop. Do not, like, there is so much evidence of love and light in this world and in the practices that I practice, that it feels finally that I am right where I need to be and doing the things that I need to do and creating these projects that I need to create. And oh my God, it's like a momentum, and Abraham Hicks talks about this too, with when you get on this momentum where what you care about is really about like your feeling and how you feel and feeling good and feeling joy and feel like it doesn't stop. It literally does not stop. Like he helped me with all this stuff. We had a great time creating. He was nice enough to take time and help me with some stuff that I couldn't have done by myself. And I remember, after he left and we said our goodbyes and stuff, like I just remember feeling like like this snowball effect, but like in the greatest way possible. Like I remember feeling like I have impacted his life after this day for the better. And being able to be a part of that has affected me in my life for the better too. And the momentum doesn't stop. I remember telling him, I'm like this is me, dude. Like this is me, like I would say like 95% of the time. What you guys see like online or like what I talk about on the pod, like just like this kind of positivity and just kind of like this undying faith in good and in light and the way that I live my life, and I don't drink alcohol or I don't like partake in drugs, and like I am just like filled with positivity and just like like this feeling of peace. This is me like 95% of the time now. Like, but I've suffered to get here. Like it's not been a fucking like it has not been a carnival ride, okay? It has not been, sunshine and freaking rainbows. Like it is not fucking easy to get to where I'm at. But for the last like year, I would say, maybe like 2 years, let's say, right? For the last 2 years, man, I have really just kind of like slowly have been getting to this place where like even when bad things happen, I'm just like more conscious of me and myself and like my energy, and I'm just more like, and I think that the reason that I have kind of this weight has been lifted off my shoulders and I'm just more peaceful and just happy and just generally like positive is I've just released control. I have gotten to the point where I've literally released control. I am no longer trying to make things happen. I am no longer like adamant about things having to be a certain way and my day has to go a certain way. I have literally released control and everything has fallen into place. It's insane. It was very nice to have him over and being able to see that reflection in him, these things that I'm saying, have a reflected back to me that I'm most certainly in the right place. And I just have to keep going, and I have to keep like being myself, because there are people are watching me. I know that because I have like 20,000 views on a 30-day range. Like on my Instagram, I have close to like 40,000 on my YouTube channel. Like, I am being watched, and I know that it will pay off. Like, it will pay off at a certain point, and it will inspire someone at a certain point, and I will make some sort of change at a certain point. I just have to continue to be me. I just have to literally just be me. And what an amazing experience, guys. I invite everyone, whenever you get a chance, whenever you are home by yourself, brushing your teeth, doing your makeup, whatever, when you get in front of that mirror at some point today, I want you to look into your eyes, into your eyeballs, into that mirror. And I want you to tell yourself that you are worthy of a good life. And I want you to tell yourself that you love yourself. Look at yourself in the eyes, in the mirror, and tell yourself that you love yourself. And whatever feelings come up, just let them. I promise you, you're going to want to cry. You're going to feel a feeling in your chest or in your stomach. It's going to get really emotional. But do that. Do that every single day. And I promise you, slowly but surely, life will change little by little. Try and just release a little bit of that control. And I promise you, things will fall into place. It is such an amazing life. And I hope that you guys can get that feeling that I'm talking about. I know one of you will. I know some of you will definitely understand what I'm talking about. It's going to be a great end of the year, guys. I'm excited. Thank you guys for being here. I'm going to stop right there on today's episode. What an episode. What a great chat. Thank you guys for being here. And like I always say, when the student is ready, the teacher will appear. The lessons will find you. This is Life Vetted. Until next time.